My name is Olivia. My sister Ava was my best friend. My husband, Mark, was my world. I trusted them both. That was my mistake. I am 30 years old now. But this story started a few years ago. I lived in a small town. The town was quiet and pretty. Green trees lined the streets. People always smiled and said hello. I loved my small town. I thought my life was perfect, like a happy song. Ava is my younger sister. She is 2 years younger than me. We grew up together. We shared a room. We shared our toys. We shared our secrets. Ava had bright eyes and a quick laugh. Everyone loved Ava. I loved her most of all. She was not just my sister. She was my shadow, my confidant, my very best friend. I thought our bond was unbreakable, like a strong, old tree. Then I met Mark. Mark was tall and kind. He had a warm smile. His eyes were the color of the summer sky. He worked as a carpenter. He made beautiful things with wood. He made me feel safe. He made me feel loved. When he asked me to marry him, I said yes. My heart was so full of joy. I felt like I was flying. Our wedding was small. It was in a garden. Flowers were everywhere. Ava was my maid of honor. She looked beautiful in her blue dress. She smiled at me. She said, "Olivia, you are so happy. I am so happy for you." I believed her. Why would I not believe my own sister? Mark looked at me with so much love. I thought, this is forever. Mark and I bought a small house. It had a red door and a little garden. I planted roses. Mark built a bench for the garden. We would sit there in the evenings. We talked about our day. We dreamed about our future. We wanted children. We wanted to grow old together. Life felt simple and good, like a warm hug. Ava visited us often. She lived with our parents. But our house felt like her second home. Mark liked Ava. He said she was funny. He said she was like a little sister to him, too. The three of us would laugh together. We watched movies. We cooked dinner. I felt happy. My husband and my sister, my two favorite people, together. It was perfect. Or so I thought. I remember one summer evening. We had a barbecue in our garden. The sun was setting. The sky was pink and orange. Mark was grilling burgers. Ava was telling a funny story. We were all laughing. I looked at them. Mark, my strong husband. Ava, my sweet sister. I felt a wave of love. Such deep love. I thought, I am the luckiest woman in the world. That memory hurts now. It feels like a sharp stone in my heart. The changes started slowly. So slowly, I did not see them at first. Mark started working late. He said he had many orders. I understood. He was a good carpenter. People liked his work. I missed our evenings on the garden bench, but I was proud of him. Ava started visiting more often. Even when Mark was not home, she would sit with me. We would talk. But something felt different. Sometimes she seemed quiet, lost in thought. I asked her, "Ava, are you okay?" She would smile and say, "Yes, Liv, just tired." I worried about her. Maybe she was lonely. Then I noticed small things. Mark's phone would buzz late at night. He would take it out of the room to answer. He said it was work. Always work. Ava started wearing new clothes, pretty dresses. She seemed happier, more glowing. I was happy for her. I thought maybe she met someone. I asked her. She just smiled and said, maybe. One Saturday, I wanted to surprise Mark. I cooked his favorite meal, lasagna. I bought a nice bottle of wine. I waited for him. He was very late. When he came home, he looked tired. He did not seem to notice the special dinner. He just said, "I'm tired, Liv. I'm going to bed." I felt a little sad, but I told myself, he is working hard. It's okay. It is funny how we lie to ourselves to keep the peace, to avoid the truth. Ava was at our house almost every day. If Mark was home, she stayed longer. They would talk and laugh. Sometimes I felt like an outsider. In my own home, a small voice in my head whispered, "Something is wrong," but I pushed it away. "Don't be silly, Olivia," I told myself. "That's Ava. That's Mark. They would never hurt you." Oh, how wrong I was. I remember my birthday. Mark said he had a surprise for me. He told me to get ready. He was taking me out to a fancy restaurant. I was so excited. I wore my favorite red dress. Ava came over to help me with my hair. She said, "You look beautiful, Liv." She hugged me. Her hug felt a little strange, a little too tight. At the restaurant, Mark was quiet. He kept looking at his phone. The food was good, but the mood was not right. He gave me a small gift, a necklace. It was pretty, but it felt empty, like he just bought something quickly. Not like him at all. Mark was usually very thoughtful. When we came home, Ava was still there. She said she waited to wish me happy birthday again. She had a small cake for me. We sang "Happy Birthday." Mark stood beside Ava. Their hands brushed, just for a second. But I saw it. My heart did a little jump. A bad jump. I told myself I was imagining things. You can do this too. I mean, you can tell yourself lies. It is easy when you want to believe them. The next few weeks were a blur. I felt a knot in my stomach. It would not go away. I tried to talk to Mark. I asked him, "Is everything okay with us?" He said, "Yes, Liv. Everything is fine." "Why do you ask?" He sounded annoyed. That hurt me. We used to talk about everything. Now he was building a wall around himself. One afternoon, I came home early from work. I worked at the local library. It was usually a quiet job, but that day I had a headache. I just wanted to go home and rest. Our red door was closed. I opened it quietly. I heard voices from the living room. Laughter. Ava's laugh. And Mark's laugh. I walked to the living room door. It was a little open. I peeked inside. My heart stopped. I think I stopped breathing. Ava was sitting on Mark's lap. His arms were around her. They were kissing. Not a friendly kiss, not a sisterly kiss. It was a deep kiss, a lover's kiss. The world went silent. Then it started spinning. My head felt light. My legs felt weak. The lasagna I made for Mark, the garden bench, Ava's blue dress at my wedding. All these images flashed in my mind, like a broken movie. I must have made a sound. Maybe I gasped. They pulled apart. They saw me. Ava's eyes went wide, full of fear. Mark stood up quickly. He looked guilty. So guilty. Olivia. He started. His voice was shaky. I could not speak. My throat was tight. Tears started to fall from my eyes. Hot tears. They burned my face. I looked at Ava, my sister, my best friend. Her face was pale. She looked down at the floor. She could not look at me. "How could you?" I finally whispered. My voice was small, broken. "How could you do this to me?" Ava started to cry. "Liv, I am so sorry." Sorry? Was that all she could say? Sorry for breaking my heart? Sorry for stealing my husband? Sorry for destroying my world? Mark stepped towards me. "Olivia, let me explain." "Explain what?" I shouted. My voice was loud now, full of pain, full of anger. "Explain how you cheated on me? With my own sister?" I looked at him. The man I loved. The man I trusted. His face was a mask of shame. "It just happened," he mumbled. "It just happened?" I repeated his words. Disbelief washed over me. "Things like this don't just happen, Mark. You chose this. You both chose this." I felt so much pain. It was like a knife twisting in my chest. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break things. I wanted to disappear. I felt so betrayed by the two people I loved most in the world. It's okay to feel scared, I tell myself now. And I was scared. I was terrified. My perfect life was a lie. I ran out of the house. I did not know where I was going. I just ran. Tears blinded me. The quiet, pretty streets of my town felt ugly now. The green trees felt like they were watching me, mocking me. I ended up at the park, by the river. I sat on a cold bench. I cried and cried. My body shook. I felt so alone, so empty. How long had this been going on? Were they laughing at me behind my back? All those late nights Mark worked, all those times Ava visited. Were they together? The thought made me feel sick. My phone rang. It was my mom. I did not answer. I could not talk to anyone. What would I say? "Mom, my sister stole my husband." It sounded like a bad dream. After a long time, I walked back home, or what used to be my home. It was dark. The lights were off. I opened the red door. The house was silent. Too silent. I walked into the living room. It was empty. Then I saw a note on the coffee table. It was from Mark. "Olivia, I am so sorry. I don't know what to say. Ava is with me. We are at her friend's place. We will talk tomorrow." Ava was with him. Of course she was. They were together. My sister and my husband. The words echoed in my head. I crumpled the note. I threw it on the floor. I went to our bedroom. His clothes were gone from the closet. Some of them. Ava's things were gone too. She always kept a few things at our place. Her toothbrush, a sweater, small things. Now they were gone. They had planned this. Maybe they were planning to leave. And I just found out too soon. That night, I did not sleep. I lay in our bed, our big, empty bed. It felt cold. I stared at the ceiling. I thought about everything, every smile, every laugh, every touch. Was it all a lie? Did Mark ever truly love me? Did Ava ever truly care for me? The next morning, I felt numb, like my heart had turned to stone. I called my mom. I told her everything. She was shocked. She cried. She said, "My poor girl, my poor Olivia." Her voice was full of pain. For me. And maybe for Ava, too. My parents came over. My dad looked angry. My mom looked sad. They tried to comfort me. But what could they say? Their two daughters. One betrayed. One the betrayer. It was a mess. A terrible, heartbreaking mess. Mark called. I did not want to talk to him. My dad spoke to him. I heard my dad's voice, low and angry. "How could you do this to my daughter? To our family?" Ava tried to call me too, many times. I did not answer. I could not face her. I could not hear her voice. It would break me all over again. The next few days were like a fog. I moved like a robot. I ate a little. I slept a little. Friends called. They heard the news, small towns talk. Everyone knew. I felt ashamed, humiliated, like everyone was looking at me, pitying me. I decided I could not stay in that house. Our house. His house. Their house. It was full of ghosts, full of lies. I packed a bag. I went to stay with my parents, my old room, the room I once shared with Ava. It felt strange, painful. Mark and I met a week later, at a lawyer's office. We needed to talk about divorce. He looked tired. He had dark circles under his eyes. He tried to apologize again. "Olivia, I never wanted to hurt you like this." "But you did, Mark," I said. My voice was flat, empty of emotion. "You hurt me more than you can imagine." He told me he and Ava were together. They were serious. They were planning a future with my husband, my sister. It felt like another stab in my heart. The divorce was quick. I did not want anything from him, just to be free. Free from him, free from the pain. Seeing Ava was harder. Our parents wanted us to talk. They hoped we could fix things. Fix things? How do you fix a betrayal so deep? We met at my parents' house. Ava looked thin. Her bright eyes were dull. She cried. She said she was sorry. She said she loved Mark. She said she did not mean for it to happen. "But it did happen, Ava," I said. "You chose him, over me, over our family, over everything we shared. I know, she whispered, and I will regret it every day of my life. I did not know if I believed her. Did she regret her actions? Or did she regret getting caught? Did she regret hurting me? Or did she just regret the mess it created? I told her I needed time. A lot of time. I did not know if I could ever forgive her. Forgiveness felt like a distant star, so far away, unreachable. The months that followed were hard, so hard. I felt lost. I felt broken. I stopped going to the library for a while. I could not face people. I stayed in my room. I cried a lot. Some days I did not want to get out of bed. The pain was a heavy blanket, suffocating me. My mom was my rock. She sat with me. She held my hand. She did not say much. She just listened. She let me cry. She let me be angry. She reminded me to eat. Small things. But they meant the world to me. You need people like that. When your world falls apart. Slowly, very slowly, I started to heal. Like a wound. It was still sore. It still hurt. But it was not bleeding as much. I started taking short walks. The fresh air felt good. The sun on my face felt warm. I started reading again. Books were my escape, my comfort. I decided to leave my small town. There were too many memories, too many ghosts. I needed a fresh start, a new place, where nobody knew my story, where I could be just Olivia, not Olivia, the woman whose sister stole her husband. My parents were sad to see me go, but they understood. They helped me find a small apartment in a nearby city. It was not big, it was not fancy, but it was mine. My own space, my sanctuary. I found a new job. In a bigger library, I met new people. They were kind. They did not know my past. They saw me as Olivia, a quiet woman who loved books. It was not easy. There were days when the sadness came back, like a big wave. It pulled me under. I would think about Mark. I would think about Ava. The betrayal still hurt. The anger still burned. But the waves came less often, and they were not as strong. I started a journal. I wrote down my feelings, my thoughts, my pain, my hopes. Writing helped. It was like talking to a friend who understood everything. One day, I got a letter. It was from Ava. Her handwriting was shaky. I almost threw it away, but something made me open it. Dear Olivia, it started. I know you don't want to hear from me. I understand. I miss you. I miss my sister. I miss my best friend. What I did was wrong. So wrong. Mark and we are not happy. There is always a shadow between us. The shadow of what we did to you. I am so sorry, Liv. I hope one day you can find it in your heart to forgive me. Even a little. Love, Ava. I read the letter many times. Her words felt honest. For the first time, they were not happy. Good. A small, dark part of me felt satisfied. But another part of me felt a pang of sadness for her, for the sister I once loved. I did not reply to her letter. I was not ready. Maybe I would never be ready. Forgiveness is a hard road. Years have passed now. I am 30 years old. I live in the city. I like my job. I have a few good friends. I am still single. Trust is a fragile thing. Once broken, it is hard to rebuild. But I am not lonely. I am content. I am finding my way. Sometimes I think about Mark and Ava. I hear news about them from my parents. They are still together. They have a child now, a little girl, my niece. It feels strange to say that word, niece, a child born from so much pain. Do I still hurt? Yes. Sometimes. The scars are still there. They always will be. But they don't define me anymore. I am stronger now. I learned a lot about myself, about life, about people. I learned that life is not always a happy song. Sometimes it is a sad song, a painful song. But even sad songs can be beautiful. They can teach us things. I learned that. Trust is precious. You must give it carefully. Not everyone deserves your trust. Even people you love. Even your own family. It is a hard lesson, but an important one. I learned that I am resilient. I survived. I rebuilt my life. Brick by brick. It was not easy, but I did it. You can do this too. If you are going through a hard time, please know this. You are stronger than you think. You can get through it. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe one day I will love again. Maybe one day I will forgive Ava. Forgiveness is not for them. It is for me. To set myself free, I am still working on that. My story is not a happy one. It is a story of betrayal, of heartbreak, of loss. But it is also a story of survival, of strength, of hope. Thank you for listening to my story. It helps to share it, to know that someone understands. If my story touched your heart, or if you have faced something similar, please know you are not alone. Life can be hard. People can disappoint you. But you can find your way back. You can heal. You can be happy again. Keep going. Don't give up on yourself. Your heart knows the way. Be brave.